Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world, and welcome to Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls on Gift of Healing TV. I'm Sarah Jane. The topic of this program is we all wish to feel heard. I'm sure the majority of you really understand that. There are so many times in our lives where we truly don't feel heard by those around us. And that includes family, parents, husbands, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, siblings. It includes everyone around us. Why don't we feel heard? I think there's a simple solution to that. It's because we haven't really been taught to listen. Any of us. We are not particularly good at listening. I mean, truly listening. Now, when I was a lot younger, I went through some traumatic experiences that left me feeling unwanted, unloved, not good enough, etc., unworthy, all the things that all the words you can come up with. And so, did I feel listened to? No, I didn't, because I didn't feel worthy enough for me to actually speak. And if I did speak, and please don't get me wrong, I'm not putting any blame here, but parents, love my parents dearly. Even though Dad's no longer with us, I love my parents dearly. But they get very busy. And the one thing they are unfortunately very good at doing is not listening to their children. Because when they are really busy and the child wants to say something, they're not in a space in their own minds, in their own life to listen. And in experience over not last week, the weekend before, of watching family and the youngsters in the family and the adults are having conversations and a child comes in wishing to share something and they're ignored. Because I was certainly raised with an adult conversation is more important than a conversation with a child. And the witnessing of what I did, what I witnessed, was actually quite upsetting because I was watching and I was listening. And the joy of being the host of Gift of Healing TV is that it has really taught me to listen. So no, I know I haven't got a guest for this program, but I found it really important to listen to my guests, because in the listening and hopefully then understanding, the interview flows. But if I don't listen to them, I have no idea where the next question's coming from. And doesn't that go with life? We listen to understand, not to reply. In most cases, people don't want suggestions of how it can be put right. We just wish to feel heard. And the experiences over this year, I think more than last year, but it's about layers of the onion in our healing journey, in our healing process. And it has cropped up about the triggers that when I didn't feel heard, when I really felt that I was being ignored, not just not heard, I was just totally ignored. And they triggered the hurt and the pain from my younger years. So we do wish to feel heard. So some thoughts and some suggestions. How well do you know the people around you? How much do you truly listen to what they say? How much of their story do you know? Now, I know bits of story from both my mum and my dad because they grew up during the war. I know that my dad's mother died when he was 5. I also know what my dad told me that he didn't think it had affected him at all. Yeah, we won't go into that, and it was certainly not a conversation that he was prepared to have. His best friend's mother committed suicide when the boy was only 14. And that's, my dad knew him at that time. And again, his reaction was, oh, that didn't affect him. But then what we have to realise is, very definitely in those days, because my dad would be 90 now, that boys don't cry. It wasn't even the big boys don't cry. I mean, that's very much. The loss of a mother at any age, or a father at any age, is not easy. And actually, I have to add the father bit very definitely, because my mother's dad went away for the years of the war. And she didn't know this stranger that walked back through the door. So it was like the loss of a father. And then this stranger coming back who just happened to be her father. But how much of our stories and how much have their stories affected them? Shaped. Maybe affected is not the right word to use, but shaped them. Our experiences in our life shape us, shape our understanding of life. And it is and what we witness shapes our understanding of life. And so if we can be encouraged to talk about it with each other, then maybe, just maybe, when a potential trigger crops up for us, we can be in that greater place of understanding. Or if a trigger crops up, yes, you're very aware of the trigger within yourself. And yes, I wish I'd been aware, but truthfully, the triggers that caused the breakup of my marriage, etc., I don't know whether that was resolvable by then. I really don't. And I will never know the answer to that. But if you can become aware of what triggers you, then when something crops up to do that, you can ask questions and then ask them and listen to the answers. And then ask them to listen to how what they have done or said has affected you. It's all about communication. But communication isn't just about the speaking. It is also about the listening and the understanding. And I do try to have conversations with people. I do try to listen and understand. It doesn't always work, but at least I feel I have done my best. I am in that place of being able to do that. Not everybody is. And it doesn't always work, even if you can be in a place of understanding. But at least you have given it your best shot. And be prepared to listen to yourself. And if there is something going on, if you find there's a whole lot of negative thoughts, are they yours? Or have you just managed to pick up energy from elsewhere? Because on the whole, I consider myself a pretty positive person these days. But boy, there are times when my mind goes off on one. And it did it the other day. And it was just like, hang on a minute. And then I suddenly just asked the question. I remembered to ask the question, are these my thoughts? Is this my energy? And I got a resounding no. I had walked past somewhere or been somewhere, and boy, I picked up a whole load of negative energy from somewhere that was really affecting my thoughts. I need to take a deep breath and release to the light with love. And it is. It's not a matter of telling to get knotted. It's not about those type of things. It's released to the light with love so that they are wrapped in love. So that they don't come back to bite anybody else. But listen to yourself. And if you're not sure about where the energies are, because I started by, okay, what's wrong? Is there a younger aspect of myself that is trying to get through to me? And I just couldn't figure it out. And then suddenly it was, actually, no, this is mine. Is this energy mine? And it was, no. And I got a resounding no in my head. I'm not one to hear voices, see things, but there are times that it was just like, oh, great, deep breath, thank you very much, they're not mine. And it's listening and being open to yourself and to others, and greater understanding, and then lack of misunderstandings can occur. I hope that has helped. And please feel free, if you've got a comment you wish to make, you can make it in the comments on the website, giftofhealingtv.com. Don't forget the TV bit, giftofhealingtv.com. There's the comments. I have to authorise every comment anyway, so yes, I look at those on a daily basis, so please feel free to comment there. If you wish that comment to be private and not published, please put a comment in there saying, please don't print. I won't, I promise. But if I don't see please don't publish, I will publish it. So please put that. Or email me, giftofhealingtv@gmail.com. You can also post a message, a comment under the video if you're watching it on YouTube. I usually get notifications of those. Hopefully I will. They're usually pretty good about that. And therefore I will respond to that too. Next week we have another thoughtful nugget. Thoughtful nugget stuff. It's actually today's conversation for you next week. Myself and Anolia. And we are going to be talking about it is always your choice. I hope you will join us for that. In the meantime, take care, be safe, stay well. Namaste, sweet souls.